Hi, I'm Susan Eiseman Levitin. It's February 22nd, 2024. We're here at QuiltCon in Raleigh, North Carolina. And this is the first quilt that I made when I came back to quilting. I made one many years ago, and it was a long and uncomfortable process, and I didn't quilt for 10, almost 15 years. And so this was my return to quilting. Well, I made a mini quilt, but this was my first real quilt that I made. And I must have known I was coming back to quilting because other than this gray and the yellow and the backing fabric, all the rest of this fabric was in my stash. And this pink is a piece of ice dyeing that I had done. I had been an indie yarn and fiber dyer in the knitting and spinning industry for many years, but my health precluded me continuing with that work. My business was called A Riot of Color, so I had a great love of color. And I had left that and been very depressed about that and turned to quilting as an outlet for my love of color and texture. And I fell in love with Julie Burton Running Stitches pattern called Hurricane, which is what the name of this pattern is. And she was doing a sew along, which felt very doable because she was going to break it down into steps and she was going to be there to sort of hold people's hand. So I bought the pattern, and she was great about answering questions. She was so supportive, and she gave me feedback about the ombre that I thought I made work, and she gave me a little feedback about shifting some things around. And I did it along with the group. It felt great, and it was like the introduction into having a community. And then I sent it off to Sterling Quilt Company down in Florida, and she did the long arm quilting. And then I did big stitch binding for it, and I did buy the petite that was the binding fabric as well, for the sake of being complete. And it was my first quilt, and it was so exciting to make. And I love that I got to put a little bit of my own work from the previous things I was doing in my life into it. So it felt like a really nice bridging between old and new. And it launched me into this new chapter of my life that has been so rich and wonderful for me. So, and I put a label on the back. Everybody should, other corner, everybody should label their quilts. And yeah.